Hi and good evening, everyone. My name is Dr. Rajesh Shah. I am a director and founder of Life Force, and so happy to receive everyone. Please accept my greetings. Today is a very special day, being 5th of May 2025. Incidentally, it is also coinciding with my completion of 40 years in homeopathic medical practice since the year 1985. So this webinar is a part of our celebration of 40th year, uh, and just to share some of the insights, some valuable information that is expected to be useful to the common man, to general public about homeopathy. So welcome you all. Feel free to write your names in the chat. Keep making some noise in the chat box so that I know that I'm just not talking against a screen, but there are some live people in front of me. Well, the whole purpose of this small webinar is to share some valuable information on homeopathy. Some of you may be very well aware about homeopathy, but many of you might not be knowing enough about homeopathy. And as a result, it is likely that some of you might be depriving yourselves of the benefits of homeopathy because of simply not knowing about it or having some wrong information about homeopathy. So just tell you in brief about homeopathy. Homeopathy is uh, um, is a second most used system of medicine in the world as per the WHO. So after the use of the conventional medicine, the most used system across the world is homeopathy. So billions of people in the world, they use homeopathy as a day-to-day choice for the treatment. At the same time, it is also a fact that a lot of people in the world are not aware about the benefits of homeopathy. So we thought we'll just talk a little bit about this, and also to remind you that as a process of celebration of 40th year of my practice, we have also released and we are committed to release 400 education videos starting from 1st of April. So we are releasing almost 1.5 video a day from here, from this month, from last month until the end of this year. This is just to promote homeopathy. None of these videos have any commercial value. Just it is sharing of information. So, tell you a little more about homeopathy. Homeopathy is a system of medicine which originated 225 years ago in the year 1796 in Germany. A German physician, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, was the person behind developing this science. He single-handedly introduced the entire system of medicine. Interestingly, there is hardly any uh, evidence in the history where one single person may have introduced the entire system of medicine. And also, homeopathy is the youngest system of medicine in the world. If you look at the history, Ayurveda is probably the oldest system of medicine, which is 5,000 years old. Then comes Chinese medicine, which is around 3,000 plus years old. And then there's the Greek medicine, similarly, 2,000 plus years old. And then comes homeopathy, which is 225, 28 years old since 1796. So homeopathy is not only the youngest in terms of the chronology, but it is also youngest in terms of the approach which homeopathy has. Homeopathy believes in treating not just a disease in isolation, but also the patient is in totality. Homeopathy also has a concept of psychosomatism, where it understands the importance of the impact of the emotions and the negative emotions on health, and also it treats the diseases by addressing those emotions as well. Homeopathy has a concept of genetics so much ingrained in it that it looks at the roots of the disease. It is able to understand the genetic tendencies of patients, people behind those who have the diseases, and treats that by treating the diseases genetically as well. Homeopathy has an ability to treat the diseases at a deeper level. That is the beauty and the strength of homeopathy. Another very important aspect of homeopathic science, is that homeopathy uses potentized medicines, which are nothing but, as we understood today, they are in the form of nanotechnology. I would like to talk about some very important research which happened in India by the scientists at IIT Bombay. and they have found that homeopathic medicines contain the nanoparticles of the source materials, and that is a breakthrough finding, because in the year 2010, these scientists they came with this newer understanding. All that time earlier, we used to believe that homeopathic medicines are in the form of some energy, but now in last around 15 years, the entire thing has changed, and we have now understood that homeopathic medicines they contain nanoparticles. So it is a form of a nanotechnology. That's a latest science behind homeopathy. Also, I would like to say that there is a big difference between homeopathy today and what homeopathy was around 30, 40 years back. Around 4 or 5 decades ago, we did not have adequate scientific understanding about homeopathy. Now things have changed. Earlier, we believed that homeopathy works because of the clinical experience. Millions of people in the past, they were benefited by homeopathy. And from their experience, we realized that homeopathy is very effective. We did not have adequate scientific experiments in those years. But in the last 30, 40 years, things have changed dramatically. Now we have demonstrated, the scientists have demonstrated across the world, and also my team of scientists in India and other places, we have demonstrated that homeopathic medicines have capability of working in laboratory model. Homeopathic medicines have shown efficacy in the animal models. Homeopathic medicines have shown effects and efficacy in cheek embryo model. Homeopathic medicines have shown effectiveness in the human trials, which are placebo-controlled trials. So all those placebo-controlled experiments have time and again now shown that homeopathic medicines have definite efficacy. Earlier, there was a stigma on homeopathy. Earlier, there was a time where some people believe that homeopathic medicine is just a placebo, and we did not have much answer to that. But now, in last 25, 30 years, fortunately, we are able to, support our evidence by a huge amount of scientific experiments and data. We have peer-reviewed publications, ample of them. In fact, I have been involved in the homeopathic research for last 30 years, since the year 1995. And I was fortunate enough to work with almost 50 plus mainstream scientists at various elite institutions like IIT Bombay, Tata Memorial, Gujarat University, Mumbai University, Hafkin Institute, Kalyani University, and many more, whereby the scientists, through various experiments, have demonstrated time and again that homeopathic medicines have efficacy in various research models and controlled trials. We have also conducted several clinical trials, phase 1, 2, and 3 trials, whereby homeopathy has shown fantastic efficacy. So now, if somebody says that homeopathy is placebo, just go and tell them to Google it. Okay, now don't tell them that things have changed. If you come across criticism about homeopathy from somebody saying that, oh, homeopathy is all placebo, it is faith healing, no. Tell them that now things have changed completely, and ask for evidence. You'll find a lot of evidence of scientific work and research on our websites, as well as on many reels and videos that we have made. So let us also talk about, in this talk today, I would like to invite questions from people. This talk is for general public, as I said earlier, and I'll be happy to take some of the questions. And the whole idea is to explain and about the scope of homeopathy for various diseases. It is very important in today's world that you know about the technology. Most of you are aware about what is happening in the IT space. Most of you are already using what is called as chat GPT. People are aware about artificial intelligence. So in today's time of information technology, when you know about AI, when you know about chat GPT and so many other innovations, if you don't know about homeopathy, then that is an omission. Because homeopathy has a lot to offer to you and your family members in taking care of the health. You should know that conventional medicine, that is allopathy, which was found around 300 plus years by many people in Europe, and that is used today by across the world, which is which has evolved a lot. And today's conventional medicine or allopathy is definitely very effective, very useful. It has great role to play in the treatment of various, especially the acute diseases and critical care. But you must also know that allopathy treatment is not enough, especially in the cases of chronic diseases. When it comes to chronic diseases, the diseases which have tendency to come back again and again, the diseases which are known to remain with you for many years, where allopathy is only symptomatic relief. Allopathy is not able to treat them at a deeper level or eliminate the diseases. Just to name some of them, allergic diseases, all kind of allergies, nasal allergy, frequent colds, asthma, various skin diseases such as eczema, psoriasis, vitiligo, lichen planus, urticaria. These are the diseases for which allopathic medicines have symptomatic relief, but the diseases don't go away. In fact, we are at such a stage, such a age that in spite of huge amount of medical developments, still, if you see carefully, you will find that other than infections, most of the chronic diseases still remain incurable. Have you ever thought of that? All the diseases, incidentally, using the system, the conventional medicine, most of the diseases remain manageable. Most of the diseases are not fully curable. Just name the diseases. I'll just randomly say diabetes mellitus, hypertension, various forms of allergies, cancers, ulcerative colitis, kidney diseases, liver diseases, all these diseases, if you name them, migraines, IBS, chronic diarrhea, Crohn's disease, trigeminal neuralgia, just to name few. All these diseases with allopathic medicines, they are manageable. They are not fully curable. It means that if one system is not able to cure the disease fully, then you should explore other systems of medicine. There comes the role of homeopathy. So, for all these chronic diseases, homeopathy has a tremendously effective role to play. And it is very important that as a learned person, as a well informed individual, you must know that which are the diseases for which homeopathy is effective, which are the diseases for which you must use homeopathy. And if you do not know this, then it is very likely that you will suffer with ignorance. It is very likely that you will deprive yourself of the benefit of homeopathy only because you didn't know that. That is not acceptable if you are an educated person, isn't it? So let us talk about some of the disease conditions for which homeopathy is very effective. I have received some queries and questions which it is there on my screen, and I'm going to answer as many of them possible, of course, in certain order. Let me just read some of them. Yes, there are some queries on trigeminal neuralgia and all. I'll try to answer that as well. But let me put these diseases in certain categories where homeopathy is useful. I will also talk about those diseases for which homeopathy is not useful, because I would like to give you a very clear, honest, transparent viewpoint. It's very important. So, if I have to put them in certain categories, I would say let us talk about uh, a group of diseases called autoimmune diseases. Now, everybody has heard about autoimmune diseases. And nowadays, every other disease is probably considered or labeled as autoimmune disease. And the conventional treatment, allopathy, has certain immunosuppressant medicines for these conditions. And they can give instant relief, but the disease remains. Disease doesn't go away. So, in this autoimmune disease category, we have diseases such as, say, a lot of them, in fact, from every organ, we have got autoimmune diseases. Just to name some of them, say psoriasis. Now, psoriasis is a disease of the skin. I'll put them in skin conditions also. Is a disease because of the T cell related immunity problem. And, where the disease has a tendency to recur again and again with skin eruptions on the body, uh, remaining for many months, many years, maybe lifetime for many. And the conventional treatment is the use of corticosteroids. homeopathy has a good treatment to offer. Homeopathy has a capacity to take this disease into a remission. Other autoimmune diseases include, uh, other skin diseases such as lichen planus, for example, is an autoimmune disease. Other the disease such as cancers, they also are autoimmune diseases. It has to do with some uh, immunity which is not self-sufficient, which is able whereby the cells are fighting amongst themselves. What that is exactly is autoimmune disease. So homeopathy has a supportive role to play. Homeopathy is uh, you know palliative role to play in many of these conditions, including cancers. If we talk about certain children diseases, children are the best people to treat with homeopathy because for children, obviously, whatever treatment that you give, that needs to be primarily safe and effective, of course. So, children diseases, right from common cold to asthma to skin diseases, including various developmental diseases in children, such as autism. Everybody hears about autism nowadays. The conditions such as ADHD, which is attention deficit hyperactive syndrome. Then the conditions such as is benign condition like bedwetting or enuresis, and frequent colds, migraines in children, skin diseases in children, anxiety disorders in children, chronic diarrhea in children, chronic constipation in children, sinusitis in children, frequent tonsillitis in children, adenoids in children, otitis media or ear infections which are recurrent in children. All these conditions they respond very well to homeopathy, and homeopathy can help you save your children from misuse of antibiotics. Antibiotics are good for infection, but many times in India you find that antibiotics are used or overused. For minor conditions, for viral infections, antibiotics are given. That can be very easily avoided. Homeopathy can take care of many infections, which I'll talk separately also. And the antibiotics may not be required in many of the infections. Homeopathy has a capacity to treat various bacterial infections and viral infections. So homeopathy is a blessing for children of old age. Now somebody might ask, when can you start homeopathy in children? Well, as soon as the baby is born, you can give homeopathy. Homeopathy is that safe. Homeopathy is useful for babies, newborn babies, for birth trauma. Homeopathy is useful for infantile colic, which is so common in the age group from few days old baby to up to 3 to 4 months. Homeopathy is good for diarrhea in children during the teething problems, infections that one may get during teething, growth related problems. Homeopathy is very effective in children. Second category is the female disorders. Homeopathy again is a blessing for female disorders. To name some of them in females, right from menstrual disorders, irregular menses, homeopathy is very effective. Dysmenorrhea or painful menses, homeopathy is very effective. White discharge or leukorrhea in females, homeopathy is very effective. So one of the most common conditions these days is PCOS or PCOD, or polycystic disease in female. Now, this is becoming extremely common in females, and there are cysts in the ovaries, and as a result, the females they present with irregular menses, heavy menses, delayed menses, not getting menses for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, many times, and also some problems dealing with infertility and more. Homeopathy is very effective. Homeopathy is also effective in females for menopausal syndrome. The hormonal disorders and hot flushes during elderly age, 40 plus, 50 plus females. They have various mood swings, hot flushes, menopausal syndrome related problems. Homeopathy is very effective because these are the functional problems. There are very limited structural changes in the body. Homeopathy works quite well. Homeopathy is also very effective in females for another common condition, which is frequent urinary tract infections. Many females have recurrent urinary infections, maybe 3 to 5 times in a year, and every time they take antibiotics. Antibiotics might help, but for that instance, antibiotics will not help you to prevent the infection, while homeopathy works very well to prevent recurrent urinary tract infections. Other conditions in females, which include, some of the stress-related headaches, migraine headaches, for example, various forms of arthritis in females, homeopathy is very good. Some surgical conditions in females, homeopathy is a blessing. For example, benign tumors in the breast, what is called as fibroadenoma. These are the multiple tumors in the breast. They don't require surgery unless they are very large. And a good, a mammography will show the presence and the size and the number of tumors in the breast. Homeopathy is very effective in most cases of fibroadenoma. And many times it is possible to avoid surgery for fibroadenoma. Uterine fibroid is another condition. Homeopathic medicine can help to some extent, to limited extent, to reduce the size of the uterine fibroid. However, homeopathy can help you to regulate the menstrual functionality because of uterine fibroid. Uterine fibroid in females may lead to excessive bleeding, heavy bleeding, irregular bleeding, prolonged bleeding, and homeopathy can help many times such cases, and homeopathy is quite good for that. Homeopathy is also good for in females for various emotional disorders. Today's stressful life, people have anxiety disorder, depression. Homeopathy is very good. If you are talking about female disorders, let us talk about some men disorder. You know, there are some conditions which are more common in men, in males, and they also homeopathy finds a great help. For example, uh, prostate enlargement in males. Homeopathy cannot reduce or eliminate the prostate growth in every patient, but it can give you symptomatic relief and it can help you to delay the surgery or sometimes avoid surgery in many patients having benign prostate enlargement. Of course, a PSA or prostate specific antigen related blood test has to be done to rule out malignancy. Now, in males, of course, and let us also talk about some other conditions like in elderly people, you have various forms of arthritis, say osteoarthritis. Homeopathy can give you palliative relief in osteoarthritis. Homeopathy cannot reverse the aging related changes which have happened in the joints. Homeopathy can relieve the symptoms in arthritis, osteoarthritis. I am talking about. There are different forms of arthritis, as you know. Homeopathy you can give relief in the pain and can reduce the suffering. Some patients of osteoarthritis may not be able to go for surgery, or surgery may not be required at the particular stage. So, in the early development of cases of osteoarthritis, homeopathy has good efficacies to uh, relieve the pain and can avoid surgery. When I use the word avoid surgery, let me also talk about the relationship between homeopathy and surgery. Some people believe that homeopathy is against surgery or surgery is against homeopathy. No, homeopathy and surgery are friends. You might be not knowing perhaps, but all homeopathic doctors in India are qualified physicians and surgeons at undergraduate level. So surgery is a separate skill set by itself, and it has nothing to do with allopathy or homeopathy. And the only advantage here is that homeopathic medicines can help you to alleviate a lot of surgical conditions. Homeopathic medicines can even help you delay several surgical conditions. Some of the surgical conditions can be helped very well and surgery could be avoided. For example, conditions like piles, fissures, fistula in ano, adenoids in the nose, some rectal polyp, fibroadenoma in females, as I mentioned earlier. These are tonsillitis, recurrent tonsillitis in children and adults. Homeopathy can help there and avoid surgery. Homeopathy and surgery are friends. They have to be integrated. Help they support each other. So that is one of the myths that homeopathy and allopathy are against each other. Not really. So that is about surgery. When we talk about surgery, let me also talk about the fact that homeopathy and allopathy are also complementary with each other. Some people have ideas that homeopathy and allopathy are contrary to each other. Some people believe as if homeopathy and allopathy are two uh, systems which are inimicous, or they are unfriendly with each other. No, in today's world, homeopathy and allopathy both are friends with each other. There are two different systems of medicine. Both could help you to take care of your diseases, because there is no single system of medicine in this world which can cure each and every disease. So that means that for the treatment of various diseases, we need to integrate allopathy, homeopathy, and other systems of medicine to give the best to the patient. A good doctor is one who is able to integrate every other system of medicine which is useful for a given patient. That is a good doctor. The doctor who is rigid about using only his system of medicine has fixed ideas, and that is not healthy for the patients. So, a good qualified doctor must be able to integrate homeopathy and allopathy together. Sometimes patients feel that, oh, my allopathic doctor is not allowing me to use homeopathy, or he's not suggesting me homeopathy. No, it is your right as a patient to demand the homeopathic benefit if it is applicable to you. You can rightfully ask your allopathic doctor if he or she is ignorant that homeopathy I would like to try. And let me understand or explain to me the scope of homeopathy for my disease. So it is your choice. Please understand, as a patient, it is your choice to get treated with homeopathy. Let me take some questions in the middle. We have a lot of questions. I'll try to touch some of them. Somebody is asking about the role of homeopathy in trigeminal neuralgia. Well, trigeminal neuralgia is one of the most painful conditions ever known to the humans, and this can be terrible. Homeopathy has a good supportive role to treat trigeminal neuralgia. Homeopathy cannot cure each and every case of trigeminal neuralgia, but it can alleviate a lot of cases. At Life Force, we have documented over 1,400 cases of trigeminal neuralgia. Remember this disease, which even Salman Khan suffered with this trigeminal neuralgia, and he also used homeopathy, of course. So homeopathy can be used in trigeminal neuralgia. It can help you to reduce the dependency on carbamazepine or other drugs. Yes. Then we have some questions on depression and anxiety and insomnia. Yes, homeopathy is extremely effective, especially in the early cases of depression and anxiety neurosis. Homeopathy is not good if you have been taking antidepressant medicines for 3 years, 4 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. No, homeopathy may not be able to help you much. But in the early cases, you must opt for homeopathy because homeopathy offers extremely good effective medicines for depression and anxiety without producing drug dependency, which otherwise is the case. Another related disease, schizophrenia. Homeopathy, let me tell you, is not good for schizophrenia. So if you are an established case of schizophrenia, I would suggest that homeopathy probably is not a good answer. Allopathy works very well for schizophrenia, and you should try using allopathy as much as possible. Somebody is asking about type 1 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes is insulin dependent diabetes. Unfortunately, homeopathy is not indicated or useful for insulin dependent diabetes. It is allopathy works well, or rather, insulin is required. See, the use of insulin itself is not allopathic or homeopathic. Insulin can be used in any system of medicine. That's the body is not able to produce insulin, so you're providing it from outside. So that's how it is. So, however, with homeopathic medicines, insulin cannot be generated in the cases of type 1 diabetes. When you talk about diabetes, there's another very important condition that comes in mind is underactive thyroid or hypothyroidism. Every fourth or fifth female today is suffering with hypothyroidism in India. And the conventional treatment entails the use of thyroxine or thyroid hormone almost for life. What can homeopathy do for underactive thyroid? I have got good news for you. Homeopathy works very well for most cases of underactive thyroid or hypothyroidism, but only up to 2 to 3 years of having taken the medicine. If you are detected with hypothyroidism, then the homeopathy is the best choice to go for. But if you have been taking thyroxine hormone for more than 2 3 years, then homeopathy is probably not a good idea to go for because by that time, the thyroid gland loses its ability to get reactivated. The beauty with homeopathy is that homeopathic medicines can activate your thyroid gland, and thereby it will start producing, uh, sorry, normal quantity of thyroxine hormone. This we have proved in our research as well, not only the clinical research. We have conducted one animal trial in a university in Gujarat, and we demonstrated that homeopathic medicines have capacity to activate the thyroid gland in animals and produce the thyroxine hormone. We have currently an ongoing clinical human trial as well for this condition. So for hypothyroidism, homeopathy is a great choice, and you must try. Somebody is asking, can homeopathy fully cure and treat chronic bacterial prostatitis and infectious diseases? Well, Homeopathy is very effective for prostatitis, which is largely bacterial infection. This can be recurrent bacterial prostatitis. This can be chronic prostatitis. Uh, prostate, when gets infected, antibiotics don't reach there that easily. Homeopathy has shown great efficacy in many cases of prostatitis. So for chronic prostatitis, you should definitely try homeopathy. There's a question on Meniere's disease. Meniere's disease is a disease of the ear in which the person experiences giddiness, nausea, and some annoying sound, like hissing sound, like shh. This kind of sound is continuously heard by the patient. It's a very difficult condition to treat. Homeopathy cannot cure every case of tinnitus or Meniere's disease, but we have seen excellent results in almost 50 to 60% of the cases of Meniere's disease. And homeopathy must be tried very, very well for the cases of Meniere's disease. Some people who ask for Hindi, हाँ थोड़ा मैं हिंदी में भी बोल सकता था, बट टाइम बहुत लिमिटेड है अपने पास. मैं कुछ कोशिश करूंगा कि कुछ हिंदी में भी आपको जवाब दूं. Somebody is asking about gynecomastia in males. My gynecomastia is a condition in which the boys, especially young boys in the age group of 15 to in onwards, they have abnormal breast enlargement. To be very honest, homeopathy does not cure gynecomastia. So even if you see some videos or notes on YouTube, claiming that homeopathy can cure gynecomastia, please don't believe that. Homeopathy cannot cure gynecomastia. Surgery is required if indicated. Goiter, I already mentioned about thyroid disorder. Sleeping, yes. So sleeping disorders mostly can respond very well to homeopathy. Homeopathic medicines are not sleeping pills. It is not that you take the medicine and within 1 hour you'll go to sleep. Homeopathic medicines, when prescribed for sleep disorder, they are able to normalize your sleeping pattern, your internal mechanisms in the body in such a way that you get natural sleep. It does not induce sleep by giving you sleeping pills. That's very important. Fatty liver, yes, homeopathy has shown good efficacy in the treatment of fatty liver, which is becoming so common these days. And of course, one has to be very disciplined with diet and alcohol if you got fatty liver. But homeopathy is a good chance to help you treat fatty liver. Somebody is asking about eczema. Yes, homeopathy is great for eczema. It is well known all over the world for the treatment of eczema. Eczema in children, eczema in adults. Infantile eczema is so common. Children as young as 3 months, 4 months, 6 months age, they come with eczema on the face or any other part of the body. And typically, conventionally, they are given steroids. Steroids are not good at all for skin diseases. Let me tell you this. Once you use steroids, you do get some temporary relief, but the disease invariably comes back sooner or later and comes back in a more severe form. So eczema responds very well to homeopathy. Some people sometimes criticize homeopathy, saying that homeopathic medicines contain steroids. In my view, this entire argument or humor, rumors are baseless. Homeopathic medicines cannot contain steroids. It is very easy for you to get homeopathic medicines tested in some laboratories by paying 200-300 rupees, and you'll find that they don't contain steroids. So that is a useless argument made by some people. Uh, Kidney problem with creatinine level 4 and above. Homeopathy cannot reverse the kidney diseases with what is called as chronic CKD, chronic kidney diseases, in which creatinine level is high. It is very uncommon that homeopathy will reduce your creatinine. A lot of claims are made by people, but the success rate is not very high. Only some patients might show some improvement, but we cannot say that it can cure the cases of CKD. Eczema, of course, yes, anytime. Eczema is great. Infertility cases can be managed with homeopathy. It all depends on what is the etiology, what is the cause behind infertility. There may be factors in males like oligospermia. It can treat. In the cases of azoospermia, where the sperm count is zero due to some structural changes, homeopathy cannot cure. Similarly, in females, we have to see what are the hormonal disturbances. If they are treatable with homeopathic medicines, we have seen very good results. We have seen that females they conceive after homeopathic medicines, but that doesn't mean that each and every patient of infertility will get complete recovery and success. Treatment of scabies, yes, allopathic treatment also works very well for scabies, but if the scabies is recurrent, homeopathy has a treatment to offer. So much so that, in fact, you will be surprised to know from scabies parasites, there is a homeopathic medicine which is prepared from scabies parasites. So homeopathy has a whole different range of medicines prepared from biological materials, which include bacteria, virus, parasites, fungi, and even diseased tissues like cancer tissues. I'm reminded to share with you that we also have developed several new homeopathic drugs. One of my areas of interest is new drug discovery in homeopathy. For the last 30 years, I'm involved in research in homeopathy, and we have developed some new homeopathic medicines as well. But just to tell you in brief, one of the drugs that we have developed, in fact, two of them have shown anti-cancer potentials. We also conducted some studies using these new drugs against cancer, and these drugs have been tested in laboratories in Kalyani University in West Bengal. And recently, we conducted a series of experiments to examine the efficacy of against cancer. And these studies were done at Tata Memorial in Mumbai, at ACTREC, and we have demonstrated that homeopathic medicines have capability to reduce the cancer tumor. Homeopathic medicines are shown to kill the cancer cells in the laboratory model, and it has shown to reduce the cancer tumor in animal model. Of course, we also require human trials to demonstrate further benefits of homeopathy. But these are some good leads and very good, interesting research findings suggesting that homeopathy has potential in the treatment of cancers. When I say that, let me be very clear that we cannot claim that homeopathy can cure cases of cancer. No system of medicine alone can cure each and every case of cancers. Not even radiotherapy, not even chemotherapy, not even surgery. The cancers tend to come back. Cancer is a disease in which we require to use all different modalities of treatment, including chemotherapy, radiation, surgery as indicated, and homeopathy. Homeopathy has great role to play as a supportive therapy in the cases of cancers. So that's very important for everybody to know. Let me see. Bacterial endocarditis can be helped with homeopathy, but since it comes under critical care, it is very difficult to monitor the progress of the disease in the cases of bacterial endocarditis. So homeopathy may have supportive role in the treatment of bacterial endocarditis, which is the infection of the heart. Can homeopathic medicines be taken with allopathic medicines? Yes, as I said, homeopathic and allopathic medicines can be taken together. There is no problem. There is no opposition on that. They have to be used very well by professional doctors. The doctors who are trained in homeopathy and also in the modern medicine, they are the best people to treat your both these conditions together. At Life Force says, let me tell you in brief, at Life Force, we have been privileged to treat patients from all across the world in last 40 years. After having started my practice in 1985, till now in 40 years time, I was lucky and to treat patients from across the world. I feel very humbled by that and happy to share that, as of now, we have patients in 182 countries, which is a world record for last 20 to 24 years. And that has made me more humble because that means that there is a need for homeopathy. It means that the patients who come to me from every part of the world and from every part of country, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from Godhra to Guwahati, patients, they come at Life Force, they get treated either by visiting us or by getting treated online. And they all come to us not because we are great doctors, but they come to us because their diseases are not well treated by the treatments available in, in these parts of the world. In other words, it means that there are so many diseases, which, as I mentioned earlier, allergies, psychosomatic diseases, autoimmune diseases, psychiatric diseases, hormonal disorders, cancers, chronic infections, and so on and so forth. These diseases cannot get treated by any single system of medicine. That is my message. no chronic disease can get necessarily treated with a single system of medicine. That means it's a time that we integrate every system of medicine very scientifically, very strategically to give the best of the medical science to the patients. Can homeopathy control AMR? AMR is antimicrobial resistance. With the abuse and overuse of antibiotics, the bacteria are becoming more and more strong. They are becoming resistant to the antibiotics, and that's one of the big challenges in the modern science as on today. Does homeopathy work? Yes, homeopathy works very well against many infections, including the bacterial infections. And if you use homeopathy over time, the risk of the AMR also is minimized, I would say. One of our research at Gujarat University recently, papers are published, which shows that homeopathic medicines are able to inhibit the growth of bacteria in the laboratory model. This is one of the novel findings that our studies have shown. Homeopathy and infection, if I have to say, homeopathy has medicines against most of the infections. Homeopathy has antibacterial medicines. Homeopathy has antiviral medicines. Homeopathy has antifungal medicines. Homeopathy has antiparasitic medicines. Just to name few conditions, bacterial infections such as otitis media, chronic ear infections in children and adults, homeopathy works very well. Homeopathy has a supportive role in the treatment of tuberculosis, which is a bacterial infection. Homeopathy works quite well for chronic prostatitis, which is bacterial infection. Homeopathy works, if you talk about viral infections, homeopathy works as a supportive treatment, even in the cases of HIV infection, AIDS. Our studies have shown that homeopathic medicines have capacity to increase the CD4 count in HIV-infected patients and reduce the virus count in the HIV-infected patients. Likewise, there are many studies showing that homeopathy has antiviral properties. Homeopathy is very good for day-to-day viral infections like measles, chickenpox, mumps, etc. Homeopathy is very good for viral warts, which are on the skin, but they are caused by virus. Homeopathy was found very effective even in the treatment and prevention of COVID-19 infection. We have 8 research papers on COVID research. Homeopathy is very good for various forms of infection, so is fungal infection and parasitic infection. What is the role of homeopathy in alcohol and tobacco addiction? Well, homeopathy cannot cure the addiction. Homeopathy can support you to alleviate the withdrawal symptoms of tobacco and alcohol, and with the help of good counseling, these patients can be helped. But if you ask me if some medicines can cure tobacco addiction, you just give the medicine and patients stop taking tobacco or alcohol, my answer is no, that doesn't work. Can melasma be cured? Melasma are the kind of butterfly pigmentation on the cheeks in females, especially due to hormonal problems. They cannot be cured, but they can be made lighter to some extent. But yes, there is another similar condition which is more severe called LPP, lichen planus pigmentosa. This condition finds that there's a lot of dark pigmentation on the face, on the upper body, hands, arms, or any part of the body. This LPP responds very well to homeopathy. We have documented a good number of cases. For lowering the diastolic pressure, yes, you are talking about hypertension. Homeopathy works very well in the cases of early hypertensive patients. If you have been detected with hypertension since a few months, homeopathy is a good option. If you are taking anti-hypertensive medicines in allopathy for up to 2 years, there are chances that these medicines can be reduced in many patients, if not in all. But if you have been taking anti-hypertensive medicine for high blood pressure for more than 2 years, then at life force, at least we do not recommend to use homeopathy. So that's about hypertension. Yeah, we'll take maybe a couple of questions, and then we are coming to the end of this webinar. As you know, this webinar is a part of a 40-year celebration where we treat patients from across the world, and life force, you'll be given some information about life force. I don't want to talk about the commerciality of that, but as a token of appreciation, those who need to sign up for the treatment at life force, I think they will share one coupon code, and that you may get 20% less on any of the treatment that you start with some time bound limit. So I hope that helps. This is just to benefit spread the benefits of homeopathy to people. We don't mean any commercial thing here. One more question I can take possibly. Insulin resistance diabetes, I said very clearly, homeopathy cannot cure insulin dependent diabetes. Homeopathy, all in all, is not a great treatment for diabetes. But yes, homeopathy is good for certain complications because of diabetes. That is diabetes, diabetic neuropathy. Homeopathy has some good symptomatic relief. So that's all about some of these conditions. I also mentioned about infection. Let me tell you towards the end that homeopathy is undergoing a huge change. What homeopathy was 30, 40 years ago and what homeopathy is now, it there is a paradigm shift in the way how homeopathy is looked at. And fortunately, I'm happy to say that my own involvement in the research in homeopathy for last 30 years has also brought in some good scientific evidences in various areas in homeopathic research. And of course, I'm dedicated entirely to further research in homeopathy. And homeopathy should be considered as a very appropriate system of medicine. And from today onwards, I insist that you must think of homeopathy whenever you have any problem. Check with your local homeopathic doctor, Google it, go on our website if you like, and find out what homeopathy has to offer for your disease. It will be surprised to know that many conditions that you might be suffering, or your family members, your loved ones might be suffering for many years or months, and only because you never tried homeopathy. And homeopathy has been used by people from in India, if you say, right from Mahatma Gandhi to Narendra Modi and Ambanis and Tendulkars and Bachchans and all these people have been known to use homeopathy. Homeopathy is used by scientists across the world, politicians, sportsmen, teachers, professors, allopathic doctors, all kind of allopathic doctors. They come for homeopathic treatment at Life Force. So it is a myth that allopathic doctors don't believe in homeopathy. In fact, we have a lot of literature created to create awareness about homeopathy amongst the allopathic doctors as well, as because, as I said earlier, homeopathy and allopathy are both friends and they need to be complementing each other. So with these few words, let me thank everyone for being at this webinar. I think some more links will be shared with you in the WhatsApp group. If you are not a part of the WhatsApp group, please join the WhatsApp group. We'll keep sharing you some more information, some more questions, if any, could be answered in the WhatsApp group as well. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of this celebration of my 40th year of dedication in homeopathic practice. Have a great evening. Have fun. Thank you so much. Stay healthy, stay happy. Bye-bye.